Hello, hi, I'm OuijaTheFlower. So yesterday I was supposed to do um, another episode of Do You Remember That Song? If you're new to my page or whatever, you can go back and look. It's just pretty much a show where I sing old songs. I just talk about stuff, whatever I feel like should be talked about at the moment. But you guys, I've noticed that I've been going through some type of transition, like some type of spiritual shift is going on with me. Okay, it kind of started about 3 months ago, and it just was kind of unexpected, and it just hit so hard. And I mean, even though I knew it was coming, I didn't know it was coming, if you know what that means. But so it's just been so much going on. So if you come to my page, you might notice that I might shift or change a lot. This is a process for me. Like, this is a journey. Like, I don't know anything. I don't know, there is no infinite, there's no finite, answer to anything, like it's infinite, and so I'm comfortable with fluctuating and flowing with my journey, and I want to see it for myself, years later down the road. I want to be able to look at this video and be like, okay, I grew. But not only for that, I noticed that my type of energy seems to help people shift their perspective, even when I'm wrong. I have the guts or the balls, I guess you would say, to kind of like voice my opinion and still say what I feel, because to me it's not really about right or wrong. It's about perspective. It's about what it makes people feel like, what is the effect of it to me. So I'm in this shift, and I feel like right now I'm supposed to put Do You Remember That Song to the side. Not that I'm not going to continue that, because I am, but right now I feel like I'm supposed to tell my story. And so I'm going to be telling my story to, whoever comes here. I don't know why this is happening. If you're watching this, this is for you, because this was not supposed to happen. Yesterday I was supposed to do this, but I got so scared I choked up, because my life is not something that people would consider shareable. It's not sociable or like ladylike to share my type of story. And I'm so nervous and so scared. And my ego is worried about judgment and worried about what people would say. But I'm dedicated to trying to get past this ego, you guys. Like, the ego is the ego is kick-ass, man. If you don't get past it, you'll be stuck in certain things in your life, like forever. Excuse me. Oh my god, I'm drinking the Yogi Positive Energy tea. It is so good, you guys. If you like tea, Yogi Positive Energy tea is so good. It's like tangerine flavor, and I'm like English I guess at heart, and I put cream in my tea, so it's just so good. It's like a tea creamsicle type of thing going on with me, but it's really good. Yogi has the best tea, you guys. So I'm gonna share my story in 3 sections: child, teenager, and adult. And I don't know why, but this is what I'm about to do, and I hope it helps somebody or whatever. So I guess the best way to start is from the beginning. So once upon a time, there was a woman. She was beautiful. She was in a religious setting, very ladylike, classy type of, you're supposed to be that type of lady setting, okay? And very kind of judgmental, religious type of situation. And this woman gets pregnant, and she screams rape. And it is a controversy whether this woman was really raped, which is possible, and rape is in no way, something to laugh at or joke at, I know. So it's not a light thing. But it's also possible that this woman was so ashamed and so worried about people, what they would think, that she made up a lie. And so, sorry, that was my chair. And so that's where our story starts, with this woman. And so this woman doesn't really tell her family about the pregnancy, kind of keeps it secret, but her sister finds out, which is my aunt. And before my aunt could do anything about it, this woman decides that she wants to give me up for adoption. And so right when she's giving me up for adoption, my aunt is finding out, and she's racing to the hospital, trying to intercept it, trying to adopt me, instead, just to keep me in the family. And as soon as my aunt gets there, they shut the curtain. My mother already signed the papers. It's final, and my aunt's just staring at this drawn curtain, and she can't even see her own niece. And so, of course, she busts out in tears. So that's where my journey starts. I was adopted at 3 months old into a family, Pentecostal, apostolic doctrine, very strict, very strict. My mother, she, beautiful woman, born with sarcoid arthritis. And so her hands are like this. From as long as I can remember, her hands are like this, very tight. And on her legs, braces. And ever since I can remember, she used a scooter, or when she walked, it wasn't far. So my father, religious ministry man, construction worker, hard lover, just giving to his detriment. Just give that the type of guy that just wants to do right and maybe insecure about things, and so overcompensating. But really on the outside, it just looks like this great guy that's just giving, which he was. But we all have our faults. Then my brother was their son, or is their son. Excuse me, and 3 years older than me. The cutest little chocolate drop with glasses. Even now, when I see little boys with glasses, I'm just like, oh my god, you're so cute. I just think that's the cutest thing ever. Little boys with glasses on. It's just so cute. Excuse me. So that is the beginning of our story. The beginning of the setting. Okay. So let me just back up a little bit and give you an idea of my soul as it came into this planet. Okay, so because my mother was dealing with the shame of getting raped or not getting raped, but just the situation of that, she harbored a lot of shame inside her. And so I don't know if you know about spiritual transference or energy, or just being a mother and transferring that feeling onto your child. It's a real thing. And so I was born into the world with a lot of shame. It's obvious that my mother was very ashamed, for whatever reason. I still don't understand. To me, I've been through so many things and made so many mistakes, but I still don't understand the amount of shame that she had concerning me, And I know that it was extreme shame, because later on the story, you'll find out in the third set of this, which is the adult setting, where I met my blood family for the first time at 28 years old. And my mom, I met my sister first, and she said, Mom said she doesn't want anything to do with you. You're the past. She doesn't want to dig up the past. You're the past. And she doesn't want to see you. And so that was my first introduction to my blood mother. She didn't want anything to do with me. It was just too much for her. And then after I still came, because my aunt invited me for a wedding, and I came out to meet the rest of my family, which was very loving, very open, and very welcoming to me, she later on tried to fight me. This mother that I haven't met ever tries to fight me. But it was the amount of shame and just emotion pent up from just her trying to deal with or hide or whatever was going on. you know. So this, I said that to give you an idea, if you understand that type of thing, of the gravity of coming into this earth. Okay. Now when it comes to my sole purpose outside of the people that had something to do with me coming to the earth, as in my birth mother, father, and my adopted family, I believe that, I don't know if you know about the veil of forgetfulness. You come through earth and you forget. You're up in the cosmos and you decide, you make a plan. You pick the people you want to make a plan with, and you decide, I'm going to come down here and forget everything just to remember it all here and make it work. So sometimes I feel like that when they put me through the veil of forgetfulness, maybe I just didn't go through all the way, because coming here on earth, I've always been awake. Like, I've always been awake. And when I as a child, I was so awake. Like, I was so awake that I felt like I had to put myself to sleep to cope and focus in the world, because I was just that awake. I was just too awake, like visions and seeing through people and seeing energies and seeing things. It was just insane. It was insane. So that's just a little joke that I have with myself. Like, maybe the angels kind of like looked away and I snuck by the veil of forgetfulness, because I just feel like I did not forget. Like, I remembered everything. But okay, so that gives you an idea of, my beginning story, physically and spiritually. Okay, so let's start. So, now I want to make this a point to say that my parents were amazing parents, like, and amazing people. Even though you're going to hear mistakes and things that seem bad in this story, I'm going to say that there's no manual to raising kids. There's no manual to being an adult. There's no manual, like, there's no like step by step by step. And especially, and this is for people that are adopting kids or thinking of adopting children, there's no manual to help you learn how to deal with that child you're adopting. Because first of all, they always talk about nature or nurture. And I believe it's both, because I've noticed, even after 28 years of not knowing my mother and then meeting her, I noticed that some of my characteristics are from her. And like, they didn't come from anywhere else but her. Like, it came through my genes, like from her. Even though she never nurtured me, I still had those traits. And I think that was a blessing to be able to see, because that's always been a great scientific question. Is it nature or nurture? And I think I got the experience to see that it definitely is both. Okay, so, okay. It's so much information here, you guys. And I'm so kind of like embarrassed a little bit to share it, but I know that I'm supposed to. So bear with me. This is going to be a long video. Like, so go get some popcorn or whatever you want to do. Like, take a break, come back and watch it later, because this is going to be a long video. So, okay. So I'm trying to figure out where I should start next, because I'm pretty much giving you guys a good idea of coming in. But let me see. Okay, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, people that are thinking about adopting kids or, having a child that's not yours, you have to be careful, especially kids that are born now. Kids that are born now are so gifted, so sensitive, and so psychic, and so tuned in and tapped on, as Abraham Hicks, one of my favorite, spiritual speakers or whatever, tuned in, tapped on. Kids nowadays are so tuned in and tapped on that you need to be careful of what you're forcing your kid to do, because your kid might not be wanting to do it because they're energy sensitive and they intuitively know what's right. Because I remember when I was a child and my mom would hold me and try to make me I would be fighting, get off me, 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 and she'd be like, nope, I'm gonna hold you, nope. And I've seen that from other people, and I'm gonna say, I do not think that's right. Because what was happening was, my energy was purer than my mother's energy. Not to say that my mother was a bad person, but she was dealing with some toxic things inside of her psyche and inside of her spirit that was giving her a vibration that was well, making my spirit throw up her vibration and making me want to get away from it. And that's what that is. When a kid doesn't want to hug a family member, or doesn't, hug your aunt, hug your Aunt Mitzi, hug your grandpa, and they're just like, it's because that person's energy does not intertwine with their energy. And I think people should really be sensitive of that, especially with kids. Let the kid be pure. Let these kids cultivate pure energy, and let's not force them to mingle. Because what happens is, after they hug that person, now they got to get that ick off of them. So they got to get that energy. They have to use energy to get that ick off of them, because it's not their energy. And what people don't understand, especially older people, like grandparents, people that are past 60, and young people. Okay. This is going to sound bad, and I hope people don't take this wrong. But there comes an age, I believe, this is my opinion, there comes an age when your body naturally starts sucking up energy. Like when you get older, your body starts sucking up energy because you need more energy to focus and function. And so what I believe happens is sometimes these kids are getting their energy stolen. If that makes any sense. I know this is like, some people are just like, girl, you just. But this is just, I'm just sharing from things that I've gone through and experiences. So let's get back to the story. Okay, so I'm 3 months. I get adopted by this apostolic family. I'm very, 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 very different from John. I'm very different. Diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. I'm sorry. That's later, but diagnosed with ADHD, ADD when I was very young, in and out of counseling because I wasn't talking to my parents. I wasn't talking to people. I wasn't communicating. But it's because I was just different. And I was going through my own thing. Like, I remember seeing visions and seeing spirits and just seeing through people. I remember one time I was like really, 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 really young. And my mother was disciplining me. And I remember just looking at her and saying, like, I don't learn this way. Like this, I can't learn like this. Like, and I was young, like super young. Like, I don't even know if I was in double digits yet, like 10 or 11. I was young. Like, mommy, I can't learn like this. Okay? And if your kid is telling you, I can't learn like this, listen to your kid. Because that's a very mature, in tune kid trying to help you discipline them. I guess, for lack of better words. And that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to help my mother understand me because I could see the disconnect, that she just did not understand what was going on with me, and a lot of things she took personally or took wrong. So because me and my mother were just completely like, we didn't understand each other, it really started to create a rift. Okay. A very big rift, to where, and you guys, I'm getting into it. I'm getting into everything because I believe that everything needs to be seen as much as it can be seen. So whatever I feel like I'm supposed to tell, I'm going to tell it, even if it sounds bad. Okay. So this situation between me and my mother created a large rift. Okay. And to where I started just leaning to my father. I would just hang out with my father all the time. We'd be lifting weights, and that's how I got into spirituality, or not into spirituality, but into the like researching of spirituality, because my dad was like scholar, like books everywhere, art everywhere, all type of religious art. Like I delved into it from my father because he taught me how to research. He taught me how, whether he meant to or not, he taught me to research. Don't take it for face value, because there's other books that can show you that this isn't, and this isn't, and this, like he showed me that. He showed me that even though this religion says this, that's not the only religion. This religion came from this religion, and this religion started this religion. And I learned all that stuff from my father because he had all the information. It was like it was like a library in our basement, like books, art. My daddy was a painter, an artist as well. And so I attribute a lot of my culture to my adopted family. So I hung around with my dad a lot, and because I was adopted, and this is something that happens, women, when you adopt a daughter, jealousy can start happening. Jealousy can bud, especially when that daughter starts to develop and it's very clear that you guys aren't related. Okay, I realized that something had messed with my mother's psyche to where she started feeling like I was after my father, which me and my father my father never touched me. I never did anything with my father. It was never anything like that. Our relationship was so pure, and I think we both were kind of like using escapism to get away from her at the moment. So we were like finding consolation in each other because we were kind of trying to get away from whatever she had going on, because during this time she was going through something deep, and I don't think she knew how to handle it. And she was in Christianity very, very, very deeply. And my mother never drank. I never heard her cuss. I've still never heard her cuss after 31 years old. Like, she didn't go anywhere. She studied her Bible every day, went to work, went to school, studied her Bible every day. We'd be in church Monday through Sunday. Like, Sunday through Monday, like, all week. And I think what was getting to her was the fact that even though we were doing all that, she wasn't getting healed, or the help that was supposed to come from dedicating yourself to this religion she was in. And I think maybe that was bothering her, the fact that there was no relief, even though she was doing all this and sacrificing so much. Okay, so in that situation, my mother started coming towards me and saying, you want to sleep with your father. I see it in the spirit. You're fast. You want to sleep with your father. And from that kind of ruined my dad's relationship. Me and my dad's relationship, it was over. So from that time, I just started going in my room, and that's when I really went into isolation. I think I had to be like 11 when this happened. And so I really started going into isolation. And I really started going into poetry and writing and researching and just self-searching, and myself at that time really, really, really delving into Christianity, and trying to be the best Christian, young Christian, saved Christian, Holy Ghost filled, talking in tongues, baptized Christian that I could be at that age. So I would be in my room praying, and I'm gonna say I would pray a lot, and I would cry a lot because I had an issue. I had a sexual issue. I had a masturbation issue that I just could not shake. And no matter how much I went to Jesus and cried and fasted and gave up stuff, I just could not shake this. And I remember it like it was yesterday. So this is the story. We weren't allowed to talk to anybody that wasn't church. Like, if you didn't go to church, we couldn't talk to you. Like, if you was at school, we couldn't talk to you if you didn't go to church. If you were anywhere in our lives, it was because you went to our church. And if you didn't go to our church, we didn't know you. So I didn't have many friends. I didn't have anybody to really talk to because people weren't locked up in church like we were. We were super locked up, like Monday through Friday. Bible study, church, after church, children's church, choir rehearsal, like clean the church on Friday, like type of thing. Okay, So our only outlet was to go to my father's mother's house, my grandmother's house, on my father's adopted father's side. And so ever since I can remember, I knew that I was adopted. Like, my parents let me know, like, you're adopted, you know, you're not really part of the family. And I don't know if they meant that to hurt me or just meant for me to know. But that I always knew. And on the Beeman side of my family, it was pretty prevalent. Like, they knew, like, she's not really our family. Like, pretty much free game sexually, you know. And I'm just be honest. Like, if you adopt a child, you have to think. Like, you have to think. You can't just be like, I want a baby, and I'm going to adopt a baby, and I'm going to do my... No, you have to think. Who is in your family? Who could take advantage of this situation, take advantage of this child? Okay, you have to think, okay? Because people don't think like you. People think like opportunists. And it's not that they're a bad person. It's just human nature sometimes, especially when you're young, to just be like, ooh, I can do whatever I want to do, okay? So you have to think, when you adopt a child, be careful who you send that child around. Don't overcrowd that child, but don't be, you know, just be careful. Have balance. Okay, so I remember going over to my grandmother's house a lot, and I remember this time, and I don't know how many times that happened, because after this situation, I started blacking out a lot in my life. There's a lot of black spots in my life that I don't remember, and I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, maybe you know somebody that's gone through trauma, but that means trauma. If you have black spots in your life where you just can't, like, I don't remember what happened, or I don't remember, like, that means trauma. Okay, that means you have some stuff that happened, and it's okay, but you need to be patient with yourself because you went through something that maybe other people haven't gone through. And maybe you need to take a break and look at that. Or maybe you need to stop pushing yourself so hard because, you know, just be easy. You know, people don't know, like, okay. Anyway, so this is the story. Two of my male cousins that were not related to me took me up. There was an attic in my grandmother's house. Took me up into the attic, and like, you guys, like, this is hard for me. This is very hard for me. I don't know why this is so, I know why this is so hard. Even though I've told my story a lot, the emotions that come with it. Not so much because they're terrible people, but because of the change. When innocence is taken, it leaves an imprint. And so sometimes it's just the loss of innocence that just kind of gets you choked up. But they took me up in the attic, and I just remember them laughing and smiling and pulling my clothes down. And one of them stuck their finger, you know, up my rectum, my butt, and like stuck it in my face. And after that, I don't remember what happened. Like, I don't remember what happened after that. Like, I don't remember how many times it happened. I guess that's just something that my brain was just like, okay, that's enough. That's all you need to remember. You don't need to remember anymore. And that's what the brain does sometimes. The brain will decide, like, okay, look, homegirl, you had enough. We just gonna knock this memory on out the box. We don't need you to worry about that. That's a little bit too much. Let's move that out the box. So sometimes that's what happens. But I have to say, because of that situation, it left an imprint on me. That was my first sexual situation ever. Like, after that, I was all type of confused. I was trying to have sex with my cousins. I was trying to kiss my cousins. I was trying to do, like, all type of stuff. Even now, for a while, it's not so bad now because I understand, and understanding really does take away the power of a situation. But even now, I have fetishes. Like, I want to be with two guys that are brothers or cousins. Like, and I want, like, that's what I want. Like, that's what I crave, because that was my first situation. I have an ass fetish. Like, if your ass is nice, like, oh my God. Like groceries, honey. Like, I'm just being honest because I think people need to know, where stuff comes from. And I know that that's where that came from. For a while, I was so ashamed of these fetishes or these desires that I didn't even take the time to realize, okay, I have it. So where did it come from? Okay, but now I know where it came from. It doesn't have so much control over me. Like I do think about it, and when I think about having a relationship with somebody, or I think, oh, maybe I might like somebody, I do let them know so they can know, okay, I have a situation. Like I put it out there right away, because these are things that you need to know. Like you need to know if somebody's been through stuff, if somebody has fetishes. And there needs to be no judgment, people. We need to let this judgment BS go, because you got shit too. Like you got ugly shit just like me. You got uglier shit just like me. So we need to get over this judgmental BS, because it's not worth it. But because of that situation and because of those fetishes, now I was sexual. Like I ran into porn. I was masturbating like crazy. And there was so much shame because I was a Christian, and I just couldn't stop masturbating. And it was an evil cycle where I was just like praying, God help me, God help me, God help me, praying, oh my God, fasting, oh my God, interceding. Lord help me, Lord Jesus, oh my God, I'm gonna go to hell. Seeing hell flames, hearing the rapture horn, having panic attacks. I didn't even know I was having panic attacks. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna go to hell. I'm gonna go to hell. I'm gonna go to hell. People, it's funny how judgmental people are that get into Christianity after they done did they BS. Okay, now that they older, okay, and done did their BS, then they want to be very judgmental. You need to do this. It's very different growing up in Christianity than becoming a Christian when you're older. Because when you're older, you've built up certain defenses and boundaries. When you're young, you take everything. You take everything like a sponge. You're going to go to hell if you think wrong. Now you're going to hell. The reprobate mind. If you can't stop doing something, you have a reprobate mind. And in the Bible, if you have a reprobate mind, that means God gave you over to the devil. It's over for you. You might as well kill yourself. Basically. Really. And you have to think that if somebody is going by the Bible and they're having problems, they're going to believe what the Bible says about those problems. Like, I have these problems because I have a demon and I can't get rid of it. I don't have faith. I'm never going to have faith. And because it says the faithless, or it's just like the Bible is so judgmental. And kids take it in, like every bit of it. So be careful how serious you impede religion on a young person, because their brain is so pure and so sponge-like. You have to be careful. Okay, so because I was stuck in that cycle of, I couldn't stop myself from doing these sins, and so I just delved myself into church even more. Like, okay, I need to be in the usher board. I need to be doing this. I need to be doing that. I need to be doing this in church. I need to be a minister. So I need to, the thing is, from the beginning, from birth, I was born a healer. Okay, and I think a lot of times people that are gifted, they think they're gifted because of a religion. No, but when you step out of that religion, you still gonna be gifted. You step out of that constraint, it might grow more and you might help more people. Okay, but that's how it goes. So, okay, so I'm in this place. I'm still a child. Let me see. I'm like 12 now. Okay. So I'm in this cycle. I'm isolated because my mother has kind of is thinking I'm sleeping with my dad. And my dad has kind of backed off of that because it's just what do I do with that craziness? So I'm isolated in my room now. And I'm going through my own spiritual process and my own insanity. Okay. I'm so afraid of my mother and walking on such eggshells with my mother that I started having bladder infections, and I would you guys, don't judge me. This is gonna help somebody. I used to pee on myself at school because my bladder was so fucked up. Because at home, my mom's room was next to the bathroom, and I would be so afraid to go to the bathroom because I'm thinking, I remember I would be sitting at the doorway okay, did I do something wrong today? did I do something wrong? Like, girl, don't walk past this doorway if you did something wrong, because if you did something wrong, she gonna, oh my God, like, did I do something? And I would just be waiting. I would just like pee on myself because I'd be so scared. It's not funny, but this is real life. This stuff happens. Life happens. Like, it's life. It's life. Okay. So I'm isolated. I'm lightweight, going insane. I'm not communicating with my parents, so they sending me to counseling. I'm trying to be a Christian. I'm still a child, not able to live a child's life, because from a very young age, which I didn't add in, this whole time, pretty much, I'm taking care of my grandmother. My grandma was a double amputee. At one time, she was in my room. So a lot of my childhood life was caring for people. I was caring for my mother, caring for my brother, because he had like so many surgeries, caring for my grandmother because she was a double amputee, and so I had to use the Hoyer lift. If you don't know what a Hoyer lift is, it's one of those big machines at the nursing home. I'm like 11, 12 years old using a Hoyer lift, changing my grandmother's diapers, feeding her, bathing her, doing all that stuff. Like, I did not have a childhood. I did not. Like, I've always been Nurse Bethany. Even when there was nobody at home that needed me at the moment, my mother, for some reason, would feel necessary to send me out to people, like rent a Nightingale nurse. Like, I don't know, but it's because I had it was very noticeable that I have healing hands, and I have a healing energetic thing going on about me. But at that time, I really needed to be a child because I had goals, I had dreams. I was very insecure, and at that time, Spirit was trying to give me some self-confidence, and so I got contacted by modeling agencies and talent agencies, and my mom would just be like, no, that's the devil, like, we can't do that. You know, in school I would be trying to get into sports, and she'd be like, no, that's the devil, you can't do that. Like, no, we're not going to condone that, we're not going to let the devil slip in like that. You're trying to be fast. And so that's kind of what I dealt with, you know, growing up, still as a child. And the more isolated I was, and the more disconnected my mother got with me, it was just, I think at that moment, because I was trying to be a good Christian, I was trying to be a good kid, I was trying to figure out my mom, I was trying to get back in good graces with my dad, even though my mom had just ruined all that with that, you know, sexual abuse, like, thing. That freaked my dad out. So I'm trying to get my dad back. I'm trying to do all this, you know. And so at that moment, because I was doing too much, I was a child. I'm taking care of my grandmother, changing her diapers, you know, like going out, helping people. It was just too much. And so I started acting out. Like, I stole my mom's wedding ring, lost it at school. Like, I was doing stuff that I didn't even understand why I was doing it. Like, I'm a good kid. Why am I doing this? But I didn't understand that it was because I was getting abused. I was getting abused, y'all. Like, it's funny now to laugh at it because I run into people now that I'm older, and they're like, girl, I can't believe you got out of there. Girl, how did you make it in there? Girl, your mama was crazy. Girl, how did you? Girl, because, y'all, I was getting beat. Like, I would get to school and there'd be like whelps all over my body. Like, my parents would like take turns whooping me. Like, one would whoop me and they'd be praying, and then they would stop, get tired, and then my next parent would like beat me like right after them, and they'd be praying while they beating me. Like, it's not funny. But like, this is real life. This is things that happen. I remember one time I was just so tired of getting beat, and like I was almost like, I remember like the pain and just the beat, like I was just getting beat, and I just kind of like lost my mind in the middle of it, and I just started praying like sporadically. It wasn't like God, it wasn't like a God, oh God, it wasn't, it was like I lost my mind. Like I had lost my mind. Like I lost my mind because I was getting beat that bad. Like, I lost my mind. Like, my parents are great people. They just, nobody's perfect. They didn't understand me, and they were not prepared for the the gifts that I had, okay? And the religion we were in didn't allow them to see me clearly. But my mom now, like she'll say it now. She says it like, I just didn't see how gifted you were. I didn't see how special you were. I didn't see, and it's like, it's really touching now because I really thought she hated me. Like, y'all, my mom used to put me outside like a dog. Like, after I would do all my work, she would sit me on the porch and just make me sit there. And I don't know, sometimes I don't even remember why, but I just remember she would always just like sit on the porch, just sit there, and I'd just be out there hours, just like looking around and like, I just remember thinking like, well, at least I should be happy I have a family. I should be happy that I have food. I should be happy that I have a home. I should be happy, I should be happy, Even like my mom, and I know she didn't mean to hurt me, but like she would sit me by the phone, and she said she don't remember it now. It's so funny, things parents don't remember, the most important things that really hurt. But I love her, but she doesn't remember. But she would sit me by the phone, and she'd be like, I'm about to call the adoption agency, and she would be like talking on the phone like, yeah, y'all gonna have to come take her back because this isn't working, blah blah blah. Well, let me think about it. And I would just be sitting there like, well, I guess I'm going back today. Like, well, it's been fun here. I always remember thinking that, like, okay, well, I guess I'm about to go back today. Because at first I used to be like, oh my gosh, she's gonna send me back. Oh my god, panic attack. Oh my god, don't send me back. Like, after a while I was just like, well, that's life. That's just how it was. I didn't fit in at school. Like, I was such a sore thumb. I was not just a sore thumb because of the way I was raised. I mean, I wasn't allowed to wear pants till I was 17. I wore skirts all the way down to my feet, stockings in the summer. Like, that's how, like, strict, like, constricted, like, we were in, like, this religion. But it was obvious that I was gifted. Okay. It was obvious to me that either I wanted to be gifted so much that I was imagining that I was gifted, or that I was really gifted. And I'm thinking, because we're at 42 minutes right now, and I'm about 12 years old. So I'm thinking we can stop here and go to teen on the next video. So I would just say some last words would be, oh my God, if you feel like you connected with this story at all, like, oh my gosh, I love you. We are soul family. Like, because I think so many people don't tell their story, and so you look at people and you wonder how they got where they are, and you think, oh, they must have had a great life, but you don't realize the depths and the funk and the crap that they had to go through to get to who they are. And so, I don't know, this is so, like, hard for me to share, but I do feel good doing it. I do feel a release doing it, so I'm glad I did take the time to make this video. I would like to repeat the fact that I am not judging anyone. Like, I'm not judging my parents. I'm not judging my brother, because my brother used to always be like, you're not my sister. And I used to be like, what? And we would scrap. Like, we would be, like, I still have really long nails. I've always had really long nails. I used to, like, scratch. We would be scrapping. Like, we would fight. Like, every time my parents would leave our sight, we would fight. Like, we used to fight all the time. But don't touch my brother. He was my older brother. Don't touch my brother. I will kill you. Even now, like, my brother is grown. He 3 years older than me. He got muscles and tats, but let him call me. Let him call me saying some. Let him call me, because you don't understand. Like, That's my brother. Like, I don't care if that's not my blood. That is my brother. And my whole life, I've been like that with my brother. Like, don't touch my brother. Because my brother used to be very sweet and very... He was Christian, you know? We were raised in Christianity. So he was that really sweet Christian boy with the glasses. And, oh, I wasn't having it. Because some people just like to pick on people. And I remember he was in 8th grade. I was in 5th grade. And I remember going up to the 8th grade classroom. Like, who messing with my brother? It's about to go down. Like, I don't know who I thought I was, but I was serious. And I think they saw I was serious. Because they would, you know, we all got cool eventually. But I wasn't on it. Like, do not touch my brother. I hope you guys got something from this. And I hope you guys join me for the next one. Which is going to be teen. This was just child. So, there's 2 more parts to this story. Actually, there's 3 more parts because I'm only 31 and I got years to go. But these are the 3 parts for now that I'm going to show. And this is the end of the first one. So, come back. I will be doing, do you remember that song, Freestyle Friday? And it's going to be another show on Mondays after I finish these 3. Because I feel like this is what I'm being led to right now. And I'm all about being led. Like, I'm all about following intuition, following the flow. I don't know who's going to see this. I don't know if anybody's going to watch this. But if you did, thank you for your time. Thank you for, you know, just listening. And, you know, if you felt anything at all, thank you for your feelings. Because that comes straight to me. You know, I feel that. If you feel any type of compassion, any type of love, I feel it. You know, so thank you, you guys. Have a good one. And I will see you for the next section of my story called Teenager. Have a good one.